Good morning. Welcome along to the weekly live stream from Carlisle United, FM20. I appreciate you coming along. Great to see a couple of you here already before we started this morning. If you are looking forward to this one and you haven't yet, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. It does make such a difference, of course. And come and get involved in the chat. Plenty of football stuff to go on and plenty of Carlisle action as well. Apologies in advance if there's any internet problems. It is becoming a bit of an issue today, but otherwise we're all good. Carlisle United are flying, and as you can see from the league table, we are top by some considerable distance. It is a massive collapse for Halifax, who were close in the last episode. They've now sacked their manager as well, and Kurz and Ashton have become our closest challengers, but they are 16 points behind and we've played a game less. So I think it's safe to say we're probably going to win the league now. Hopefully that's right. Hopefully we won't be able to bottle it. But of course, let me know, because that will be the interesting bit. But thank you for coming along. I do appreciate it. Come and get involved. We've got football chat. Obviously, in the last week, we've released all of our FM21 plans as well. So let me know what you think of those. Any feedback for them as well. And I'll do a little recap video later this week so you can catch up. But let's talk about Carlisle United, shall we? Because this unique season with FM21 just round the corner, we have been playing a couple of games off camera, which we don't always do. So if we have a little look at it, at the schedule, we've got a few games to catch up on. So you were with me, I think, up until Guiseley or Chorley. I can't quite remember which one. I think it might have been Guiseley was the last game last week. You can tell me if I've got my maths wrong there. But we've done pretty well since then. We went out the FA Trophy, but in the league we've been brilliant. And of course that's our bread and butter. That's what we need to get done. So we're going to get promoted in that by the looks of it. And that makes me very pleased, because that's what we were aiming for at the start here. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. But thank you all for coming in. El Gaming, good morning. Nice to have you in. Appreciate you joining along. Aidan, thanks for being at the top and waiting already. Appreciate that. Hopefully we've got some positives to look forward to. We probably can't wrap up the title quite this early, but we'll certainly be able to do something, I think. So let's have a little look, shall we? At the recent results since you were with me. We lost to Chorley in the FA Trophy. I can't remember. I think that is off camera, because the last game I vaguely remember being that 6-3. So I think that's right from last week. This week, in terms of others, we've got a few notable results. A 2-1 defeat at Chorley, of course. Ollie Steer with a brace there. But then 5 successive wins, just 2 goals conceded, and in each of the last 3 we've scored 4 or more. So against Cambridge City at the bottom of the league, it was Watson and Robertson. Watson's led to a transfer saga that's beyond possibility, and something that's fixed for FM21. Tamworth away, 2-0 win, Aidan Wilkin and Craig Robertson. 5-1 at home to Nuneaton. Walton, Potter, Dodd, Burling, Wilkin. 4-1 against Warrington. Declan Shields back off the bench with a brace on his return from a 3-month layoff. Wilkin and Douglas with 1 each. And then at Hales Owen, it's a Louis Potter brace, Joe Dodd, and then Alan Cool as we made it 4-0 before we even got to half-time. Our game, yes, Discord going well. That's something I've got to mention today. Last week, we were just about making it live, and now we've got double figures in there already. So great to have so many in. Thank you for those who have joined already, and you can find the links in the description to the daily videos if you do want to join in. So yeah, I'm really glad that's going well. Gradually getting the hang of it as well. We've got a big game here today. Harrogate away is a tough one on paper. They're a good side. They've had a poor little run, but we've got transfer sagas as well here. So we'd pre-agreed a deal with Jamie Watson to join us on a pre-contract. What I didn't realise was then in January we couldn't loan him again for 3 months, which is a little bit bizarre. So we've got the option to buy him now, but we don't have the £6,000 we need to do it, because we're obviously heavily in debt. So at the moment, we've got one of our best players of the first half of the season who's agreed to play for us, but can't play for us. It's very strange. We're trying to sell Jack Moore on a permanent to Bromley. He's been out on loan, was the biggest earner at the club. And in terms of transfer history, we've got a little bit of news as well. This window, Aidan Wilkin, who joined on loan, has now come on a free transfer from MK Dons. So here's a permanent addition, hopefully a replacement for Shields for the future of the club. And then we also bought in Clint Earl, which we mentioned last episode. We have been trying to bring in some money though and get some off the wage bill. So you can see that there's been a few bits of note there. So TJ Bramble went to Basingstoke for £6,500. Ryan Harding, who was unhappy, went to Swindon for £2,500. But none of that's going back into the budget, so he still can't afford the main man. We do need to do a little bit more in terms of sales, but no one wants any of these backup players. It's so frustrating. I'm tempted to try the Jonathan Mann one, but if we don't then replace him, we haven't got any quality in the squad at all. At least he is a capable backup. So that's where we are at the moment. I'm not sure where the money comes from to enable us to get somebody else. In terms of values, no one that's permanently here is worth much. Maybe a Hutchinson or a Earl who's just come in, or a Potter. But I don't think any of them are going to be getting a big deal. So I don't think we can rely on that. So what we're going to do is go straight into the first game against Harrogate. Hopefully a chance to extend our lead at the top. It does look like the title's a certainty now. Dwayne, good morning. Welcome along. Thank you for popping in. L Gaming, what do I think of the Wrexham situation? Pretty similar to what I said before, really. It's always hard this season for clubs that end up with loads of people isolating. It's not something you can normally rely on. We saw with Luton just having one out, the effect that had, because you just don't know how many close contacts they've had, how many other people are going to have to isolate as well, how many people can't train before matches, which is something we don't think about. So I think they'll be fine. It's just waiting for that to pass. It'll come to another club soon, but you know, I always mention the season that Luton got promoted from the National League. 100 points, 100 goals. We were 14th after 10 games. There is no point worrying about it at this stage. I think you'll go up. I think you'll be fine. You'll definitely be in that top 7 mix, so don't worry. Dwayne, you're saying loan in Daniel Maldini. Now, the one thing I'll remind you here is we're in 2032. So I'll have a look for him, but I'm reckoning that most of the players at the start probably won't be there anymore. Well, he is still there. Let's have a look. 30 years of age now. He's a bit above our level, I think. 3.1 grand a week, and he's a first teamer there. So yeah, they want the full wages, which we can't get anywhere near. Obviously, he's a very hot prospect in real life, isn't he? So he's doing a good job at Milan. It's just starting to come through, and hopefully a good career for him. A lot of these youngsters, it's hard to predict early on. So we've got a pretty good 11 out here today. Okay, no, you're probably not scoring 100 goals, but you'll probably concede a few less than we did as well. If we get into the game today, it's just Burling who's the weak link, really. He's in on the left because of that Watson situation. Everything else is first choice. The bench is good. We've got attacking depth now. We're about as strong as we can be. So let's get into the Harrogate game. And as long as we don't lose every match to the end of the season, we'll probably be alright. But thank you to everyone for popping in. If you are looking forward to it, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Once we get a bit later in the morning and there's a few more people in, we will talk a bit more about the FM21 plans. Obviously, we've announced all of those in the last week over on the community page on Discord and Twitter. So you can find all the details there. And there'll be a full in-depth recap video on Saturday. And that will go in the 4:30 slot that's currently vacant. So we've got the lads keenly motivated. Harrogate pretty sparsely populated there. So let's get into the first half. How can we get on? 5 minutes on the clock. And although we haven't seen any highlights until now, the stats look good. And Densmore's got it in the middle to Price. Oh, clears it downfield. Oh, he's missed it. Shields is in. Back from injury. He's been on fire. But this one straight at the keeper. Not great. It's a good block there. Searle's committed a foul. And that will be the first free kick of the match on camera. Harrogate gave us trouble early in the year, though. I think they held us at home, if I remember rightly. L Gaming, yes, Bangor City FC is one of the main ones. Not to be confused with Bangor FC of Northern Ireland, but Bangor City, the Welsh club, will be our one club story. The story behind them is incredible. I've recorded a sort of the closest I can get to a TIFO football style video. It's not going to be the graphics or anything like that, don't expect that, but in terms of the sort of history background. And then we'll try and do a little bit with that as well. But I'm really looking forward to that one. Obviously, Cliftonville has gone so much better than I could have imagined. I think yesterday's probably the first time in 43 episodes it didn't get 50 in the first half a day, which is remarkable for a channel this size. So I think moving forward, the Builder Nation is something I wanted to do a few times anyway, and I've been a couple of years without because of what we were doing here. So, as I've said before, the saves I do here will be the saves I would have done off camera. I'm not going to do something different just for the sake of it. So, they're always the saves that I'm most looking forward to. And once I saw that story, I had to do it. Yeah, Bangor City, exactly. Yes, Craig, Luton only conceded 35, the joint lowest the season they went up. But to be honest, the way Wrexham play and how strong Dean Keats is defensively, I'll be surprised if they let in that many. I think Wrexham, if they're going to go up and have the season that I predicted or be in that top 7, I think it will be because they concede maybe 25, 30 goals and score 50 or 60. I don't see them being a massive scorer. As Cole picks it up in the middle, an hour on the clock here. The game's just sort of flitted by, but Ross Walton's shot to nothing. It was on his weak foot. It went straight at the keeper, and he sort of half-palmed it in. I did not expect to take the lead in that way. So there we go. 23 minutes to go. It's 1-0 to Carlisle, and we're going to make some changes. Dean Shields still not fit. Declan Shields, sorry. Still thinking of the old Northern Irish player. Declan Shields not quite fit, so Aidan Wilkin now permanently can join on. And what else can we do? Burling's struggling, but we haven't got a left winger. Right back, Earl's apprehensive. Let's get Kieran Turner on, who started the season first choice, of course. And we'll give it 5 more before making another change. But all looking good so far. And we're getting a lot of those performances of the champions. Craig Savage, throughout the year, highlight... good morning as well. But welcome along. Thank you for coming in. Highlights and lowlights of FM20. Now, I know why you're asking that question. And I'm not happy about why you've asked it. Because you know that probably one of my biggest low points was the network save that myself and you did. The Barnet v Chesterfield. The first sad montage that the channel's ever seen because of that playoff final defeat on penalties. That has to be the low light for me. There were a couple in the head coach getting sacked by a tycoon-owned club, despite doing a pretty good job, but overridingly, you and I both know it's that Barnet save and the penalty shootout at the end. The highlight has to be Cliftonville. I mentioned that season 3, was it? I think it was season 3 that we had. It's probably the best run, certainly European-wise as a minnow, I've ever had in Football Manager with anyone. So to not pick that would be really harsh, because that's definitely been the one for me. I'm going to bring Matt Waggett on here. I'm not actually quite sure what he's going to be able to do for me. I think I'm going to swap Walton to the left and then Waggett on the right, both as inside forwards, make us a bit more solid central. But yeah, that would be my highlight and low light. For FM21, I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, and that's the thing, Craig, and I probably didn't think about that until we started doing the network save, is how much more tense it is when you're playing the game against someone live, but then also in the playoff final, when you've got that person, you'd wrapped up your job, and you were watching almost as a spectator, and it's the closest in FM that you can come to having fans in a stadium, I guess. You get that pressure of manager, you got someone's watching me. You don't think about it when you're making a video. You just think, oh, I'm in my own little world. But you were there basically laughing and going, oh, everything that went wrong. And it made it so tense, particularly for the penalties. But it is what it is. Next year I will come back with a vengeance. We haven't quite decided which one of 2 or 3 options we're going for yet. I know that people have mentioned St Albans Hemel because that was a local one at the same tier. For Craig pointed out a good thing, which is that the fixtures in the National League are done close to proximity for Christmas. So there would have been 2 games on Boxing Day and New Year's Day and not a lot either side. So we'll have to think about that carefully. Otherwise, we've had Stockport and Wrexham suggested. We were having a look just to see in case there were any League 1 or 2 ones that were potentially suitable. But we'll wait and see. It will definitely be English-based. As O'Flaherty's in here, just wide of the post. And I think we're going to hold on again. A Champions win, 1-0. Performance on the road that you want to see. Fantastic result, fantastic performance. And it's surely just a matter of time for the title now. Well, that's the thing, Craig. I would have liked another season as well. It would have been easy if I'd done the job, wouldn't it? But it doesn't work when you're in different leagues, unfortunately. So this year, either we'll both need to succeed or both fail. And I was about 3 inches from succeeding in terms of a penalty going wide. So it is what it is, isn't it? We can't all have it. Just not Wickham or Stoke. No, I know you're not fans of them. As you managed 2 episodes with Wickham, didn't you? And then Stoke, well, I know that you've got a irrational hatred of them. But I might be Stoke, John Obi Mikel. You could be someone against Stoke, couldn't you? I go based on last season, you could probably do Stoke and Luton. We finished a couple of points apart. It'd be nice for it to not be me ruining Luton for once. But we've beaten Harrogate. It's a pretty good result. I'm just looking at the others here. Curzon Ashton drew 3-3 against a good Warrington side, and Halifax won. They won 2-0 against Lowestoft. Their manager now Chris Hackett. But that means we're 18 points clear with a game in hand. It's a 46-game season now. The leagues have been expanded. But that's pretty remarkable, really. There is no way we're not winning this. Zach Hayes, Newport offering to buy him permanently. He's on loan there at the moment. Look at that stat, 19 league wins in a row. We actually started pretty averagely. We had 2 dodgy spells. That little Warrington and Harrogate one there, and then the 3 games in a row there. And obviously we lost in the cup and a trophy. But in the league, we have basically been unstoppable. And it's just about the finances holding on now. Thank you to all the extra people joining along. It's great to have so many of you in. Please do chuck a thumbs up on it if you haven't already. Come and get involved down in the chat. Plenty of football talk, FM21 talk. There'll be plenty going on this morning. So come and have your say. Let us know who you support, which one of the FM21 stories you're looking forward to the most, or even who you're going to be managing first. Who are you planning to start with in FM21? We've got a week to go till Biggleswade Town, another local one to us. But it doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to compete with us for promotion. I'm a little bit sad at how easy this has become. The Declan Shield transfer early on has made it quite simple because it's taken away a lot of that worry transfer-wise. Financial-wise, sorry. Because half the debt was wiped out and we can manage half the amount. It's not going up too quickly. What's that, about 50 grand a month? Probably nearer 100. But we've got a way to make money if we need to. And some of these youngsters, if we go up, there will be interest in them. Of course, we're not going to get to stick around to see it, but we know that they've got a chance at success. So all it is now is probably a waiting game for how quick we can win the title. What I'd imagine is, if we play through today's games, the aim is really that we'll do 5 games here, 5 games at the end of the season next Tuesday, and then 6 or so off camera. But I think we're probably going to win the title somewhere in the middle, unless we have a really bad run. We've been looking at this Luke Granger on a free. His stats are really good. He just doesn't fit into the tactic. It's such a shame, really. I mean, I was looking mainly as a backup on the wing and in centre midfield, but I don't think that happens for us. I'm trying to get someone in to replace Harding, essentially. So we'll see if that works out or not. But so far, so good. Plenty of good news on the way for Carlisle. I'm just out of interest wanted to see if there's any other jobs about, actually. Should we have a little look? I mean, depending on how much our reputation's dropped, we could finish the season with a massive job. You could go to Stoke, Craig. Now, you're a big Stoke fan. To be fair, in this save, when we were at Burnley the last 2 years, they've been a top 6 club. So, they were one of the powerhouses in England. I wonder where they are now. And I wonder how much our reputation's taken a hit. I would go and have a look, but we all know that the profile screen is the one that takes the longest to load, particularly once you're 14 years in or 13 years in. I was just looking at the run of fixtures for this morning. We've got some bigger clubs. We've got Altrincham, I guess, being the main one. They're a National League club now. They're not doing great this season. They're stuck in mid-table. We've obviously got Biggleswade, we've got Stourbridge, and we've got Spennymoor, who are up in 7th. So it will be a few tough tests. And Zach Hayes, who Newport have just bid for, he got sent off for them. Fantastic to see, eh? It's the one problem with the international tournaments, when you've got loads of league loaded, even with a very good PC, 13, 14 years late, you're struggling. And I've probably got a middle-of-the-road one, because I can't afford the big fancy gaming one yet, unfortunately. You'll soon know when I can process in a day. Zach Hayes is going to Newport. I don't know if that will make any difference to our budgets, really. I guess the committed spend must go down because he's not going to be coming back. And the same for Moore here. I don't know why he's gone for -£1. That doesn't seem right. Same for Jack Moore there. I don't really know what's going off. So they've both joined the club they were on loan at. Has that meant anything financially? If we go to our finances. No, the committed spend hasn't gone down. I don't understand that. We're getting people off the books. None of the others getting interest. We might have to go for Jonathan Mann next just to see what happens. But it is a little bit frustrating having a star player sitting who's agreed to join that you then can't bring in. It really does do your head in at times. L Gaming, let me just see that message. Any news about changes for FM21? So I think there's been quite a lot, actually. Most of them are like layout changes or quite small changes. But some of them are ones that will make a big difference. So if we talk about this Jamie Watson situation here, one I'm looking forward to. At the moment, you can't agree a loan deal outside the transfer window. That's going to change. And that's something that happens quite frequently in real life, that a player will be joining. They said they're going to reflect the real transfer window, so there's going to be more loans to buy. There's going to be more financial implications in the first season. I know there's a lot about talking about gestures, that there were going to be, you could throw water bottles metaphorically and things like that as well. So it's good to see that there's those sort of changes. Elliot Lee's the manager at Bromley, 37, currently at Luton Town in real life as a player. Didn't expect to see that today. But yeah, there's a lot of layout changes to the match day. They've got an old-fashioned style team sheet when you come in. And rather than it being, when you go into the match at the moment and there's the formation screen and it shows you how the teams are going to play. There, it's just a blank team sheet. And then you can change your tactics after, and so can the other managers. So a bit more like real life, where you go into the game and you can set out a formation and the manager's wondering, is this going to be a back four or a back three? And you won't be able to find out till the match starts. So that's something I'm quite looking forward to, particularly for the head coach, I guess, where I have to rely on tactics. I don't sign the players. I'm not involved in staffing or contracts. I'm relying on tactically outfoxing people. So I'm going to really get a chance there. I'm just having a look at some of these young players. They are slightly improving, but no one's interested in them still. It's really so frustrating that we can't get anyone off the books, even for half the wages for free. Are Wrexham still top? Yeah, I forgot they were top of League 2 when we looked last week, weren't they? So we've played another 6 or 7 games now, so let's have a look. League 2. They are still top, and they're 7 points clear now. And look at that, 19 points clear of 4th. There is one thing I can guarantee you, is Wrexham will be finishing this safe in League 1. So there's a positive for you at least. It's always good to have a bit of extra like that, isn't it? It's nice to see a club doing well, even when you're not in charge. I used to like it when Luton were in League 2 and they'd make the jump up to the Championship. People used to complain that I mentioned it, but look where Luton are now in real life, so it happened in the same way. Joe Dodd is starring in training, that's good to see. He's becoming quite a good player, actually. Chris Munroe, poor trainer. This one's the one that annoys me the most. Doesn't fit in a tactic. He's a ball-winning midfielder who can't tackle. And he's on nearly 600 quid a week. He's played 46 games for Carlisle. No wonder they didn't get promoted last year. He played them 37 times. And he's not good enough for this level. You're definitely going up in this one, yeah. We've reached Biggleswade. The games are thick and fast after this. We get a week's break and then we get 3 in 5 or 6 days. Does not make it easier at all. But it is... Curzon and Ashton have got a big game at the top as well. Them and Halifax, if they don't win soon, we could win the title potentially today. I know that's pushing it, but Carlisle heavy favourites, as you would expect. I think we go with the same 11. Unless we can bring in Watson again, this is our 11 to the end. Joe Dodd's a bit tired, so we could drop him out, but I might rest him for Tuesday. Because Spennymoor, the hardest game, I want to wrap up the bankers, get the 3 points in the board. So let's do that. Same 11 today. We'll see how it fares. I mean, it should be a home win, but Biggleswade a decent side. 4-3-3 they're coming out with. It's not often a formation, touch wood, that we've struggled with. But there we go. Into the first half, let's just hope we can get on top again. As I did mention at the weekend, I've announced a beta live stream series for FM21. I'm going to be live nearly every single day. So I'm just deciding on the time for that couple of week period. We'll do sort of weekday early evening, so I'll try like either a 5 or 6 o'clock for an hour or so each day, and then the same late mornings at the weekend, sort of half 10, 11 maybe, just so we can get done before the football kicks off. But that's something I'm really looking forward to. I've got the 2 weeks off work, so I'll be able to commit to that sort of thing, and there'll be no problems. What is a problem though, is the way Biggleswade have started this match, because they are absolutely dominant. After saying we don't struggle with this formation, it should be a home banker. After 25 minutes, they've completely dominated. So we're going to drop to balanced. Just try and get a bit more of a foothold in the game. We're restricting them now, but still no shot on target, which for us in 35 minutes is unheard of. Are we going to go the whole half without a highlight for Carlisle? We are. We've evened up the stats a little, but I'm going to really dig into them. 19 wins in a row, and it's not going to be 20 at this rate. As the ball's into the box, headed away. Hale's going to try and get there, but he hasn't quite got the legs on it. It's unfortunate for him, but he'll find a way eventually. It's back in towards again. Is Walton off? Or is that a first? No, he's off. Oh, this is the day, isn't it? We talked about how well we're doing, and it's all about to go wrong. So Shields will stay up front on his own. Potter on the right wing. He's going to be replaced by Robertson, just so we've got that attacking support still. I don't know other than that, though. This is going to be a long old 40 minutes. We're holding on for a point here. He's saying we've got to be careful, but we've still got a good side. And the back four and the midfield four hasn't really changed. As Earl picks it up to Declan Shields. We could do with a bit of League One standard magic here. And Shields does it. Brilliant from Declan Shields. Back from injury with aplomb. He has really got going now. Fantastic goal. And 10 men lead. Maybe it will be 20 in a row. I've still got to take him off later on because he hasn't got that fitness back yet. But it's something we can hopefully get back into him soon. Just over 15 left. I am going to change Shields now. Last game before he's probably match fit, sorry. And Ralph Douglas will be replaced by Waggett. He's not going to be box to box. He's going to be a central midfielder on support. Cool will be a deep line playmaker. And Clint Earl will be a fullback on defend. I think that's probably as tight as we can have it. Robertson support duty as well. Get everyone behind the ball as Biggleswade coming forward on the right with Gilligan. Picks it up to Stafford. Back to Rhodes. They're playing good football here. We just need to see if they've got that cutting edge. As we try and win it back. Wright's nicked it. Oh, that's a great finish. Beat Smith into the corner. We couldn't find another keeper. And will it end up harming us? That's the big question. Because it's been a tough one so far for us. Not looking good at the present. Here we come forward though on the left-hand side with Wilkin. Second striker going for a bit of solo magic and he can't produce it. It's a tough moment for him, but otherwise it's been a really good performance. I don't think we can complain too much because we've done as much as possible here. And Cole's coming forward again. Even with 10, we're still pushing on. And it's going to be 10 apiece here. It is going to be 10 apiece. Fantastic stuff. Great to see them catching up. And hopefully we can create something. We're going to go positive for stoppage time. Just see if we can create one more. We can't. The final whistle goes. It is 1-1. And the winning run comes to an end. After 19 successive league wins. It's a point against Biggleswade, I'm afraid. But a fantastic performance nonetheless. A fantastic result given the circumstances. And we keep that big lead at the top of the table. So still plenty to be positive about. Let's have a look at the other teams. Halifax lost again. Curzon Ashton drew. Remarkably, we've not got any further away or any closer to the teams below. I'm just trying to work out the mathematics here. So we'll be 21 clear if we win our game in hand with 13 to go. So conceivably, we could win it with 10 left. Walton's been banned. A bit of a letdown for him then. And now the run changes to 20 unbeaten. So it's not all bad, is it? But a good start to the morning nonetheless. A win and a draw in difficult circumstances. But Spennymoor at home is a tough test. And if we are starting to get a little bit complacent, they're the sort of games that can harm us. Thank you to everyone that's coming along as well. Great to have you all in as always. Please do chuck a thumbs up on if you haven't already. Come and get involved in the chat. Plenty of football talk. Plenty of FM21 talk. It's great to have you all involved in it. We've got 2 quick games in succession here, which could, I mean, if you haven't already thought we have, it could pretty much wrap up the title. So hopefully that will be going on before long. But Spennymoor is one of the toughest tests we've had in a while. So I'll be interested to see if we can bottle it. Hopefully not from this position. Norwich got a draw there against West Ham. A side I'm managing off camera actually. I'm tempted to do sort of blog style updates. I used to do them on the FM forums a few years back. Maybe it's something I can think about later down the line if we end up with sort of... It's not something I'm thinking about immediately, but if we end up with Patreon and memberships and things like that later down the line, I've made no secret of my desire to eventually make this part of my job, hopefully. And your fantastic support, even with watching adverts, watching the videos, chucking a thumbs up on, it does make such a difference with that. But maybe that's something I can think of later on, because I normally do one save off camera every year. And it'll just allow me to give you like a little blog update for each season. But we get into the midweek game here. We've got Spennymoor, who are flying in the playoffs this season. It's going to be an interesting game, particularly after us losing our winning run. I wonder if there will be any sort of negativity or drop in morale. It's something that could potentially happen. So here we go. We've got one less goal scorer, to be fair, with Burnley coming in for Watson, who had gone back. So now Walton's out. Robertson's going to play on the right wing. Mann, the left winger, will go onto the bench. Do you know what? I might start him. I'm going to start him. Left winger on attack. Let's go for it. On the right as well, we'll drop the fullback to defend. Let's just go for it. 4-4-2. Everything else stays the same. Let's see what we can achieve. We've got 3-month loan spaces. If we want to get a few in, we could go and have a look. I'm not quite sure how that would pan out though. Thank you for every people coming along. Thank you for the extra thumbs up as well. How are Burnley getting on? We'll have a look. They weren't doing too well earlier in the season. They'd sold a few as well. But we'll have a look after this game at how Burnley are doing. Obviously the club we left in the summer to come here. And we were disappointed our season had petered out a bit. But hopefully it will show what a good job we did. As Russia's got a free kick for Spennymoor. It's not a good start again here. But Smith does come and claim that well. He's got to play out from the back. And hopefully we'll be able to get on the front foot. Directly after this stream, I will be recording both Sunday and Monday's episodes of Cliftonville, but also the FM21 plans video, where we'll recap all the announcements. I'll announce the vote for the live stream save long term, which will be available for you guys to come and help choose. As Potter's got a free kick on the right into Hutchinson, 1-0. Brilliant header, brilliant set piece. And they are so crucial at this level, and they have been again. Fantastic lead, and hopefully it's back to winning ways. But yeah, Saturday 4:30 we'll have the plans video out. As that's coming out, I'm hoping I'll be doing an EFL matchday vlog for the podcast, which there'll be more news on later, because obviously that sounds a bit weird given the current climate. But fingers crossed we'll be doing that. As Declan Shields runs down the right-hand side, takes on the fullback, there's two in the middle. Oh, it's a good challenge by the man. On a yellow card, it was a risk as well, but he's managed to get there. As Douglas picks it up in the middle, left to Jonathan Mann. He's come into the team today, and he's looked threatening out there. It's just the final product he hasn't got. He's got electrifying pace. As Douglas switches it out to him again, Mann gets to the byline, crosses for Shields. And again, this time he did have the product, but it was Declan Shields who couldn't apply the finish. Half an hour gone though, it's been back to a Carlisle style performance. And that's something we can very much get behind. As Kirby picks it up at left back, he's got a chance to go over the top towards Rush. And this is the thing that worries me. We're still a little susceptible to direct teams. And you can see the fullback who's pushing up there, or the centre half, was the one that we had as a covering duty. He should be the sweeper. But Mann's won it back over the top to Potter. Has to score. Goes round the keeper and puts it wide. How did he miss that? Brilliant work from Mann, the left winger. He's been the best player on the pitch. And we might have naturally found a solution here. As Brunt switches it wide, Craig Robertson intercepts. I'm still mixing myself up with old Scottish footballers. As Kirby gets it into Fleming. Back to the goalkeeper. And it's very much a pretty relaxed, laid-back approach from Spennymoor. Not in a rush to get forward, but they've got some good experienced pros. Although we've picked it up here with Robertson, the youngster. Into Cool. Got to keep an eye on those yellow cards too. As Shields picks it up again. Scored from a similar position at the weekend. But that one straight into the arms of Howard. Still 1-0 Carlisle though. An utter dominance so far. As with 2 minutes to the break, we've got a throw on the right-hand side. Douglas picks it up. He's got a man behind him in Earl. Crosses into Potter. Oh, I think he's coming into another goal drought, Louis Potter. It's a bit of a shame, but we're still winning 1-0. And as long as someone's scoring, I don't mind. Into the second minute of stoppage time we go. And Jonathan Mann's got a last chance to create something. He cuts it inside to Cool. Over the top to Mann again. It's been a real outlet on that left wing. Great cross this time. Headed away at the back post. With 30 seconds to go, Spennymoor have got a chance here. And the last thing we want is them getting back on terms for half time. Long ball over. Dodd heads away. Only as far as Yeo though. He finds Dixon. Back to Brunt. Over the top to Batten. Don't let him shoot. It's into Rush. And it's a good block by Hutchinson. Cleared away by Jamal. And we just about survive, do we? No, it's into Rush again. And that one is the end of the half. 1-0 Carlisle. Spennymoor had a couple of late chances though. So we're going to encourage the lads, get them motivated for the second. We just need that second goal quick. Fingers crossed though, it will be incoming in the second half. It has been a good section so far. So the ball's into the box. Declan Shields makes it 2. That's exactly what we were looking for. 2-0 to Carlisle. Declan Shields with the goal. And hopefully that is wrapping up the title race. A fantastic moment for us. A fantastic moment for Carlisle. And it looks like that decision to drop down is going to be a good one. 20 minutes left. Changes to be made. Cool's on a yellow and tired. So whack it on for him. Robertson's on a yellow. We will bring on... Haven't really got any options there. Let's say Wilkin. Shields will go out to the right wing. And then Louis Potter replaced by Burling. Back to the start of the season there with a target man on attack. 20 minutes to go though. It looks like a comfortable win. And hopefully a really good sign for Carlisle. Promotion seems to be close. I'm hoping it will be okay. Let's have a look then. Thank you for the extra views as well. It's lovely to have so many of you along. Please do chuck a thumbs up on it if you haven't already. Come and get involved in the chat. Let me know who you're going to be managing first in FM21. What you think about our plans for the game as well. As Rush is in here, it's a good save by Smith. Is it offside? It is. That's one thing I hope that changes for FM21, a little thing. So many of those offside highlights. I guess at the top level with the new VAR rules, it's going to be worse because... You're encouraged to play on, aren't you? But hopefully at the lower levels we don't see so many. As Douglas picks it up. He's going in behind here. He's got a chance to run alone, but he is eventually challenged. And Spennymoor have left free up. We could be in real trouble here. And we're going to have to adapt to that in a minute. Going to drop to a balanced mentality when this is over. And we'll try and go defensive. Because we have got the ability to implode. As Lastich goes into the box. He's cut it across. And it's blocked the first time. It is danger in here. As Yao picks it up to Rush. Was he offside? He wasn't. 2-1 with a minute and a half to go. There's a concern. El Gaming, you're going to be managing Wrexham. No surprises there. I expected none less from you. Central midfielder maybe? No, we'll put him on defend. Target man on support. Winger on support. Winger on support. Balance mentality, time waste all the time. Lower tempo, keep the ball. Be more disciplined. I think that's about it for now. We'll drop that line of engagement as well. Hopefully that will shore us up against the front three. Craig Luton first, and I'll wait to see who's available, similar to the head coach. Yeah, I think Luton might be an interesting one this year. Because there'll be a few players in the squad that are traditionally underrated, that are sort of the League One standard ones, that will still be there to get rid of. And then you'll have some of those loan players you're looking to keep. But it takes away a lot of those loan spots in the window. And I found that crucial when I was managing them. So it will be interesting, actually. Shields picks the ball up. He finds Earl. Crosses into the back post. Man heads in. Jonathan, man, what a return to the side it's been. We have found our new left winger by accident there. Yes, Craig, there's the time waste. Of course it is. And El Gaming, maybe Liverpool as well. See, I don't mind it later on in head coach once most of the real players are gone. I really struggle being a big side at the start. Being an elite club, I find it difficult. It's not something I've always done. So I'm quite envious of people who can do it. But a 3-1 win for Carlisle. Probably the biggest test left, and it's gone. And after hanging on with 10 men last time, to get this one is a massive moment. Thank you for all the extra people popping in as well. I think we're at a record high for the morning for views. So thank you for coming in. Please do chuck a thumbs up on if you haven't already. It's great to have so many of you here this morning, as we are on the brink of greatness with Carlisle. We'll have a look at the Burnley team in a minute. I remember that request. And with that game in hand played, we are now 21 points clear. Jonathan Mann makes a ridiculous return to the side. I think that was his first league start. It was. And he was brilliant. And we're on the verge of promotion. But let's have a look at Burnley. The club we left in the summer. Oh, look at that. If there's anything that makes you feel better about the job you were doing at a club, their key player is now Kenneth Taylor. He wasn't at the club under us. He's earning 105 grand a week. So they've blitzed the wage structure for him. They've got another player who's the third highest at the club. And they've given Flauhout a new contract to make him second. And despite all of that, they are bottom on 11 points after 24 games. What a job we did there. That shows just how good we were. I'm really delighted about that. Huddersfield on 12 and in a massive gap. So Burnley are going down. And that shows you just how excellent we were. I'm really pleased with that because it just shows what a good job we did. And hopefully you guys will agree with that. But that's an interesting one. I'm surprised they've collapsed that much because they've got a lot of good players at the club still. So I don't know how it's gone quite that wrong, but it is what it is. Interesting for Burnley. It's become my favourite saying now, it is what it is. NHS work, it's become the most common thing as everything goes wrong. Stourbridge away up next. A side struggling in the bottom half. Traditionally, the games we've been very consistent in this year. But of course, I'm aware as I say that, it could go wrong at any moment. Hopefully not today, though. It's going to be a big game for us, actually. Because that could be an unassailable lead. I think it is already. But if all the other results go our way, what could that mean? That could mean with 12 games to go, we'd be 24 clear. And then, yeah, we could be 30 clear with 10 to go. I mean, I know they're probably not going to drop every point, but we could be on the brink, which is going to be incredible. They're asking us to sign this player from Darlington. He's not good enough. Not for if we're going up, anyway. Our favourite, Hallam Hope. Has he retired yet? He's a scout. Should we see if we can employ him? Oh, doesn't want to move where he lives and doesn't want to work for Carlisle, even though he's a favourite. Okay. Josh Vincent is the star for Stourbridge. He's a decent player. Tends to be a theme in Football Manager here. Better quality players coming down, but probably more of who are a little bit, maybe personality-wise a bit off. So low determination, unambitious, those types. We've got a big press conference there by the looks of it. So you know me, second option all the way. That was a big press conference for National League North level. Maybe we had a special in the non-league paper or Football Focus or something. But a really good start. We couldn't have asked for much more. Fantastic results in the first three. Even the draw, given the circumstances, was good. And we've got Stourbridge and Altrincham to come. So that should take us past the hour mark this morning. And then we get to think one more stream and it'll be FM21. And I'm so excited about it. Obviously, I've announced all the series now. The head coach will be back bigger and better than ever before. There's a link to the trailer in the Discord as well, so you can see about it. The same on Twitter. And then we've got Bangor City as well, the Build a Nation story. Went so well with Cliftonville. It's going to be harder with Bangor. They're not a top tier side. They've had a tumultuous time off the pitch. There's been financial issues. They've got a basically all non-British side, which we'll get into when we do our first episode. And they're a club with very high expectations and a big fan base. So you've got a very high potential of getting sacked. So don't bank on it being a long series just yet. Unfortunately, Mann is a little bit tired today. So Burling will have to come back in. We'll keep him on the bench though. Or in fact, can we? No, we'll have to drop him out. I know it's harsh after a brilliant performance, but we can't play unfit players. Aside from that, it will be the same squad, I think. Potter's gone 3 without a goal now. Shields has gone 1. Only 1. Oh no, he scored in the last game. Just wasn't brilliant. So I think that's it. Aside from that, we'll go with the same squad and we'll get back into it. I think I'm at risk of overthinking it then. Well, Pots, good morning. Welcome along. Good to have you in again. Appreciate you joining. It's nice to have lots of the regulars in. Bangor, I think it will be really enjoyable. I know it's probably not going to be the biggest series. I mean, the head coach, the numbers the head coach gets will dwarf Bangor. But the One Club series is something I always love. And with Bangor City, if we can avoid getting sacked and get promoted early to the first tier, I really think it's got the potential to be an amazing save. I'm going to really enjoy it. The same as Cliftonville. I didn't actually think I'd enjoy Cliftonville as much as I did. I think I'd enjoy it, but it's been really incredible. And the support for it's been fantastic. So I hope Bangor's the same. But the head coach, I know, is the bread and butter. And it's one that's always got the most variety. it ends up having a lot of the sackings and things, which people love to see failure, don't they? As Burling's in at the back post here, heads just wide. Could have been a great start for Carlisle, but it's a whisker away, I'm afraid. But 10 minutes on the clock, it looks positive again. We're keeping an eye on the other results. Halifax are home to Guiseley, Curzon Ashton away at South Shields, and they are in the lead. So maybe they can start to close the gap. But for us, it's been a relentless run, so I can't see it going wrong. Half an hour on the clock, though, and it has been a quiet game. So let's demand a bit more, as Potter's got a free kick. Good dangerous area into Hutchinson. Great header save. Burling's offside. He was already ahead, you could tell. So we're not going to get too worried about that. Tom, good morning. Appreciate you coming along. Unfortunately, I'm having to catch up on the phone because the chat function on YouTube on the desktop is not great for me today. But it's good to have so many of the regulars in. Lovely to have such an active chat. And we have got a penalty kick here with Declan Shields in for 1-0. And Carlisle are well on the way to the title now. Fantastic news across the board. Brilliant run so far. And we are really looking forward to our promotion party. What a way to finish FM20 it will be. Hopefully we can do something special in our final season with Cliftonville. And we'll be able to make it a really special season. That's the aim anyway. But thank you all for coming along. I really do appreciate it. If you missed any at the start, there will be a full replay afterwards. The same for all the FM21 streams when they start. As Potter's coming forward, trying to get us a second. Into Shields. Oh, it's hit the post. I think the keeper got a little touch to it there. If he did, it's a brilliant save. As Walton puts the ball into the box. Back to Cool. Edge to Douglas. A second before half-time really would be great. Into Walton. What a save. Walton's got to make amends, obviously, after the red card. Tom, best penalty taker ever. Great question. I mean, they always say Letitia, don't they? But that's a great question. I mean, for me, I always used to, the person who, growing up, I used to look and think, he's not going to miss as Balotelli, to be honest. I know he's got a lot of other faults, but from penalties, he was faultless for a long, long time. I think he then, missed 2 in a row or something. Let me have a look. I'm going to have a look at Balotelli's penalty record, because I'm sure I'm not making that up. Has he not ever missed one? I swear that Balotelli missed one. Oh yes, he's missed 2 now. He scored 28 out of 30. But he was on 19 out of 19 when he left England. Carlisle have gone 3-0 up now. Joe Dodd wrapping it up after Walton scored a second. We know Carlisle are going up. I really can't think of that, Tom. That's a great question. I mean, Steve Howard for Luton used to be pretty relentless as well. I'd be quite happy with him taking one. I'm not a big fan of the stuttery run-up ones. We saw Fernandez. When it goes wrong, it looks ridiculous. That's the problem. David Luiz isn't a bad penalty taker. He always seems to score big ones. The only Englishman I would have gone for before was Ashley Cole as well. He used to take him in shootouts. Was the only Englishman you could bank on scoring in them shootouts, wasn't he? But yeah, I don't know the best answer to that question, to be honest. Jimmy Floyd's another one I always remember being good as a youngster. As Potter makes it 4. Any talk of a goal drought for him can go now. Paul Pogba gaming. Don't be silly. Let's not be silly now. Definitely not Pogba. He did have a spell where he scored a couple, didn't he? And then he missed a few. Ibrahimovic was always quite good from the spot. Up front, Wilkin for Shield, straight swap. Still protecting him a little after the injuries. Waggett on in the middle. And Turner on at right back. I think that's job done. 4-0, 3 subs made. Let's enjoy the party. Yes, L Gaming's found the man. L Gaming has found the man. James Milner. Talking on the other side of that from Everton, David Unsworth back in the day. He would have been one. Leighton Baines. He would have been one. They're all opening up now. But yeah, of current players, James Milner. You've nailed it. Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Why is he not taking them for Arsenal? I suppose you never get a penalty, do you? You're barely in the opposition box. Kane is up there now. He does miss a couple. I would say Milner's probably the best shout so far. We've got a free kick over on the left-hand side here. I'd love to make it 5. But it's just turned into another dominant display. We'll have a look at the other results in a minute just to see how they're getting on. Altrincham, the side who are up next, they're winning 2-1 away at Nuneaton. And Stourbridge are trying to get a consolation here as it's into Marsh. Good block from the midfielder. Good block again out wide. And Knowles gets it into Porter. To Wall. Vincent. Hutchinson picks it up to Jamal. Long over the top towards Wilkin, but it's headed away. Stourbridge, a little bit of pressure here. Concerted for the first time in the match. Sparks cuts it to Porter. Good effort. What a goal that is. That's an incredible strike. Not got a good long shot rating, but that is one of the most thunderous strikes you'll see. I will have a look at the Maitland-Niles one afterwards. If I tried to watch it now, I probably wouldn't be streaming anymore. By pure coincidence. But we'll get there as it's a long ball forward to Wilkin. Headed away as far as Walton. He's had a really good game after that red card last time. Turner downfield is cleared back. It's just sort of petering out a bit. What we don't want is Stourbridge to get a second because that could give us some nerves. And Sparks is trying to create that here from the left. He's cut in, he's shot from distance, and that, in contrast to the goal we've just seen, is absolutely appalling. But all going well, 5 minutes to go, 4-1 lead. I'm just waiting for a break in play so we can look at the other results really. Watkins has brought that down well. Into the box unopposed, Jamal blocks it. Great defending. Burling long to Wilkin. Great challenge. Lovely through ball for Potter. I think he's on a hat-trick. And it's over. Oh, he's blazed it well over the bar. Yeah, he has scored already today. What a way to throw that away. Watkins trying to get on the end of a goal kick. Jamal away to Waggett. He finds Cool. Up to the left-hand side. There is no one near that. And it's back to the goalkeeper for Stourbridge. Been lots of highlights there. Long ball forward. Porter, who scored that goal, brings it down. Wilkin nicks it. He's into the box. Can the super sub score? Oh, it's a great last-ditch challenge, that. Got to give it to him. It's a brilliant bit of defending. As Walton puts it in front post, headed away. Let's have a look at those other results then. Curzon Ashton still winning 1-0. So the gap will not increase today, as it stands. But it's only one. As Turner crosses for Burling. Good save. It's been a bit of a disappointment, Burling on loan. But he's doing a job for us out there. Man will come back in at the next game, though. Who are the other team up there? Halifax. I think they're level. Let's have a quick look on the update screen. Halifax, 1-1. So, yeah, it's happening quite quickly now. As Watkins has gone in behind, everyone has been stopped in their tracks. 4-2. Really poor defending. And even though we're going to win this at a canter, there are so many little alarms still ringing. And it does really worry me. But 4-2 is the victory. A comfortable win despite the poor ending. I'm going to warn them against complacency there because that wasn't the best end. And we've got a week until we face Altrincham. A big game against a side just creeping back up the table. Only 5 points off that playoff shout now. So they'll be hoping to get in there still. Almost 6 points if you count the goal difference. But certainly by no means an easy game. With one more to go, it's now 22 unbeaten in the league. 21 victories and that one draw against Biggleswade. No change to the finances, I don't think. Still no chance to sign Watson. And if an EFL club wanted to nick one of our young stars, they would have come in now. It is deadline day, don't forget. Or will it be Monday, I suppose, because of the weekend? Best hike of Penenka, smash it down the middle, smash it in the top corner. Slotted in the bottom corner. The latter two for me. Got to be corners. As a goalkeeper as a kid, there were lots of people who tried to smash it down the middle or do clever place things near the middle. They were the ones I always saved. Because all it takes is you to dive late and they can't score. And if you do those sort of little run-up ones, you've got to get it right in the corner. You've seen where Fernandez and that missed the corners and Jorginho this season against Arsenal. Was it against Arsenal or United? Then that's where it goes wrong. So it's certainly not worth... David Luiz ridiculously run up. Yeah, that's if that goes right, there's no better penalty. But it looks ridiculous if they then miss. But the long run up in the top corner is great. As long as you hit the corner, it's very hard for a goalkeeper to save. If it's low or high, it's fine. It's when it's in the middle, it's a problem. I was always the higher top corner. And as a goalkeeper to save, the higher top corner, there's more risk associated. If it goes right, that is the one penalty which is completely unsavable. A keeper can, if they guess right early enough, get down to their bottom corner, no matter how well it's placed. A goalkeeper can save anything in the middle, of course. If you hit that top corner postage stamp at power, it cannot be saved. Into the side netting, it's lovely. It's just the risk that comes with it, isn't it? And that's why this sort of little jolted run-up skip penalties come to fruition, because people are thinking, is that really any more of a risk than my chance of missing the side netting? And that's why people have gone to it, because goalkeepers are too good now, reflex-wise. I really, to be honest, it's never been a penalty I've got. One person, you'll remember him, Tom, at the age of 10, tried it against me. Junaid Mead, who played one Champions League game for Arsenal, had a loan spell at Luton. He tried to Panenka me in a year 6 school match. And he made himself look ridiculous. So, yeah, the Panenka penalty for me was always one that I loved as a goalkeeper. So I just thought, well, I'll stand here. If you want to do that, I'll stand here and I'll wait. Particularly in like Sunday League and school football, most of them can't go far enough, wide enough to make it a problem for you. So you always had a chance to save, which was great. But it is what it is, each to their own. Everyone will have a different favourite. But for me, from a goalkeeping point of view, that's what I found easiest and hardest to save. We're just waiting to get through to this game here. It's taken quite a long time this week. Thank you for all the extra people popping in. I do appreciate you joining along. We're coming towards that 11 o'clock, so hopefully it'll be a successful final game as well against Altrincham. Junaid Mead isn't on FM these days. Well, he won't be in this save because this is 2032, but I'd be surprised if he's not still in FM. I mean, they have players that are at, like Crawley Green. When I started there, they had 3 players there, so I'd imagine he'll still be in FM. I don't actually know where he is. He's abroad now, isn't he? Or he was last time I knew. We're going to have a quick look for him. Off camera, sorry, just to see where he is. He's currently a free agent, apparently. Where was he last? He was last at Alsons. Well, they were a top tier team in Norway, sorry. So he will have been in the game then. I don't know how many he played. I'm just trying to see their last season, see if it says. No, I'm not sure. But yeah, he will have been in FM this year if he was playing in the top tier in Norway. That's not a bad move for him, given how he was dropping down the English leagues. There's takeover talks here. Oh, that could make it an interesting final episode next week. Tycoon own Carlisle, perhaps. Somehow I don't think so at this level. But we're just 3 days away now. Altringham's the big one. And I've got a feeling we're going to be very close to the title after that. Hopefully, anyway. Obviously, I've announced the FM21 stream save is going to be with Wigan. One of the obvious EFL challenges. I'm imagining a lot will go for Sheffield Wednesday rather than them, but it will be an interesting one. That's a very good point, actually. I haven't heard much on the Wrexham takeover. I guess because the other guys are in the US, so I know they've still been watching the games. I've seen them update on Twitter and things like that occasionally. Let's have a look. Wrexham takeover. Yeah, so it's just because they're working in America, I think. But there's still plenty of talk about it. They're still watching the games, so could be an interesting one. Oh dear, you're causing controversy. You've got an Arsenal career mode. What have you? Who have you sold and bought? This will surely cheer Tommy up. Right, we're nearly there now. Altrincham is the big game. We've got a slightly easier run on paper after this where we should hopefully be able to wrap it up. But 21 points clear. I don't think we're going to complain too much, are we? Looks pretty good for us at the moment. And hopefully it will remain that way anyway. I wonder how early we're going to wrap up the title. I guess that's the big question. I'm pretty sure it will be before the next episode next week. But let's see if we can get 3 points closer against Altrincham. The fans are starting to creep back in now. Nearly 4,000 today. And we are going to put Man in on the left wing. On the bench. Shall I leave Burling out the squad? He's not been great. I'll leave him out the squad entirely, actually. Let's do that. The rest of the 11's the same because we keep winning games. You can't keep changing it. I've signed the Ox, Holgate and Tarkovsky, and I don't play Saliba. Well, that's no different to Arteta there. Holgate's a really good player in as a youngster. Tarkovsky's a good defender. Oxlade-Chamberlain, I'm sure they would have not wanted him to go anyway, so I don't think that's too bad, actually. It's a bit like my Norwich FM save off camera. I've just signed a lot of young British-based players or English players. Yeah, that's the thing is there's so many good Premier League players. It's a bit like what Tottenham are doing now, to be honest. Højbjerg, Matt Doherty, just going to the bottom half of the Premier League and nicking the best players from each club for their position. It makes sense. The only thing Tottenham will regret is not getting a centre-half. If they're in the same position, and this is a bold statement, I know, and I said to Tom about them finishing second this year, they are where Liverpool were before they signed Van Dijk that January. They are a world-class team missing one centre-half. That's all they are away. Lloris is back in the best form of his life. Going forward, ironically, Jose Mourinho has created one of the best attacking teams in the country. And it's just that centre-half. Højbjerg's a bit more solid and bite in the middle, playing alongside some of those ball players. Sissoko is a perfect Mourinho player and he's doing a great job for him. It's just frustrating that they're one centre-half away. And I know Tom won't like it, but it is, I think, unfortunately, going to be Tottenham winning trophies soon at some point. Particularly, I think they'll win the Carabao Cup this year. We know Jose loves that. I don't rate Leno. I've said this to Tom all along. I think they sold the wrong keeper. And they probably could have got more money for Leno as well. Martinez will be homegrown because of how long he'd been there. In terms of squads regulations, it's really strange. And Martinez, I know that he couldn't do anything about the goals against Leeds, but he's been brilliant aside from that. Saved a penalty, had a couple of really good games, made some top draw saves. And again, we've had a really poor half here against Altrincham. So I'm going to lay into these lads. You can see the arrogance creeping in. There's been a couple of poor performances. I'm a little worried as to what that might mean moving forward. So we'll try and avoid that situation. And hopefully, we'll be able to get a victory as well. But an hour on the clock is not looking good. We're getting outplayed. Charlie Betts, good morning, sir. I thought you'd slept through it. Is it okay to put chocolate in the fridge? I knew this debate was coming up. Chocolate should not be put in the fridge. I know you're going to talk about the bite and the crunch, but I'm more of a melt-in-the-mouth type of bloke. So, no problem for me. I will always go for cupboard rather than fridge. That's my choice. So, on the wings, we have got Walton being replaced by Robertson. I really don't think we're going to win this. Potter out to the left. Don't think we've played him there all year. He'll be an inside forward on support. Up front, we're going to go Aidan Wilkin alongside Declan Shields. Both as advanced forwards. Let's see what happens. In fact, we'll have a poacher in. It works with Cliftonville. And Douglas replaced by Waggett. He will be central midfielder on support. Let's try and get a winner. It's been a really poor performance, this one. I don't really know where it's come from, to be honest. See, look, Tom, you really let me down there. To turn against Arteta after 3 or 4 games when he's won you 2 trophies in 6 months, won the FA Cup, did a brilliant job to get you into Europe. I still think you're one of the favourites for the Europa League. You've disappointed me in that. You're not becoming one of those fickle fans after 5 or 6 games. Also signed Coutinho, good signing. Yeah, no one's... Charlie, you're on your own with the chocolate in the fridge, mate, I'm afraid. You're not going to get any backing on here. I know that's what you were hoping for, but we all agree. And if me and Craig Savage agree, you know there's something right. I think, as we come towards the end of the game, is it a goal? It is a goal. So no, it's an own goal, but we'll take it, whatever way it comes. We're going to go to balance because Altrincham are on the front foot again. Hopefully, they won't get an equaliser straight away. As we're in with Wilkin, he's nicked it high up. Hopefully we can wrap this up now. Good save, wide of the post. And it's a corner kick, an outswinger for Cool. He's going to take it, and he's taking his time as well. Good game management from the youngster. It beats everyone to the back post, and Stevens will clear. And now, I think there's a 2-on-2 here. Elliott's getting in behind to Hardin. This is a bit of a problem. Oh, it's a good block. Jamal clears it downfield, and I think that's just about that. Although Elliott's picked it up again, it's not over just yet. Elliott into Bristow, to Rogers, to Hall. Free kick given for offside at some point. We're in the north. We're in the north here with Carlisle. They dropped down to the bottom tier. Well, you said there's a lot of doubts creeping in, and I'm not quite sure why. And El Gaming, you've turned against your manager too early as well. I'm sorry to say. Wrexham will be fine. Arsenal will be fine. Have some faith. But I think we're almost there. A perfect result for us. What were the others? Well, they must have been poor because Nuneaton are now second. So the others must have all lost. They've played on a different day though. Interesting indeed. Nuneaton won their game 4-0 and they're up to second. And we beat them comfortably both times this year. We found them one of the easier opposition, to be honest. That's a very strange situation to be in. But we make it 23 unbeaten. We're going to get through a few games off camera and we will be back next week to celebrate the title, maybe a takeover and the last 5 or 6 games of the season. Oh, Charlie, that's a tough one. Samosa or Pakora? If they're from Saucy, just a plate of each. If they're from Saucy Samosa, I'll have a plate of each and no comment on either. But, at their best a Samosa, but I don't know. 10th in the Arsenal save, that's realistic. Naughty, you're causing controversy now. Why sign Cedric and keep the other 2 right backs? What's happening with the 72 million Pepe? Well, Arteta had no say in the 72 million Pepe, and he wouldn't have signed him. I know that for a fact. Aubameyang shifted out wide. Lacazette does nothing. No Saliba. But Saliba's just joined from a different nation. Give him a few weeks. He's a young player. And again, Arteta didn't sign him. But that's the thing, Tom, that Arteta has to build a foundation from the back because Arsenal have been so bad there for so long. But it will happen eventually. They'll be fine. You're going to have to accept that you need to give Arteta a full season and then judge him next season. And if he can do something like win a Europa League or whatever in between, then fantastic. But thank you all for joining along this morning. I do appreciate you coming in. We will leave it there and play the next few off camera. And next Tuesday, 10 a.m. the same time, we'll be back for our final live stream from FM20 before we've got the daily FM21 on the cards. It's going to be brilliant. And hopefully, it'll be a success and a promotion party to end it. So thank you for coming along. Thank you for watching and being involved in the stream as always. Thank you for all your involvement in the live chat, all the thumbs up and all the support. And I hope to see you next week for the promotion party. And we'll be back in the meantime with Cliftonville at 4:30 today. Thank you for watching.